What's up, everybody? Welcome to Super Retro, a nostalgic podcast about retro gaming, TV and film, music, pop culture, anything dope from the 80s and 90s. I'm Tuck. That's Will. What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all?
Will's back from vacation.
I'm all tan.
I went on vacation, came back. We got an episode in, I think, because we did screw one up and didn't record an episode, which we'll explain here in a minute. And then you went on vacation.
Yep, back to back.
How was it? Where'd you go?
Indian Rocks Beach.
Indian Rocks Beach in Florida.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nice.
awesome.
You have good family, have a good time.
Pretty awesome, dude.
It looked like it. I know you posted a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
It looked
I like
nice.
to not post until I'm back.
So people don't know.
Move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had all those just stored.
But here's the thing. You know, I used to do that, but guess what?
What?
What I've created for myself. Don't nobody know where I live.
No, me neither.
Don't nobody know where I
I
live.
thought that too and still did it.
I know.
Like I was like, nobody even knows.
Nobody knows where I live.
Like the only person was you.
Except
and you were going over there.
You know, and a couple of my other real close boys
Yeah,
that
like that's it.
that we've had over for like game nights and stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking that I was sitting there in Florida and I was like, if I post this, I was like, no one would have a clue.
That's what I'm saying.
But you.
Yeah, straight up. That's how I feel. I used to do the same exact thing.
I still do it though. I almost don't want to. It's almost cooler being in the moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Know what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like, this is what I'm doing
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not
I'm
sitting
having
there
fun.
worried about what people are thinking while I'm in there.
Yeah. But let me explain what I referenced a little bit. The lost episode,
It
y'all.
hurt our soul.
It's lost to the podcast gods. You know how like in bourbon making and in bourbon aging, they call the bourbon that evaporates into the air the angel share.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey. Same
That's the podcast
same
angel.
analogy for what happened to the podcast. We did about it was about an hour and 40 minutes.
It was solid. It was a good chunk of stuff.
It was beefy. So what I'm saying is we get about an hour and 40 minutes into this whole podcast, and I realized that we weren't recording.
Yeah, you looked up out of nowhere and just got up and walked away, and I was like, "What just happened?"
I just stood up and got up and didn't say shit and just let it all sink in that the camera had not been recording.
And then I looked up
over an hour
and saw. I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
we're stupid."
But like I've gotten so used to setting this equipment up pretty quick now. I would set up like 5 hours before, or like the day before. To do this, because this is in my basement. You know, my kids are always down here. Shit, like we actually live down here too, so
We can't keep this shit.
can't keep it set up. So I used to set it up like the day before and just shut the whole basement down. But now I'm getting to a point where I can, if you text me on my way, I can have this shit set up, quick. But in the mix of setting all that up, set the camera up, just didn't hit record.
It happens, man.
Yeah, so there is a podcast out there in the universe that it was just me and you, dog.
Yeah,
It was
Ain't
just
that
me
funny?
and you, like the
It
old
was like,
days.
and then after we realized it, we were like, "Let's try to do it again."
And I did post an outtake from it on our TikTok page for the subscribers only.
Man, it hurt. You could see the hurt in Tuck's eyes.
It was rough, man, because the preparation that had gone into all the notes.
I know, and like the first time is like, it's like a real experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the first time we talk about it.
Yeah.
And then the second time you're sitting there thinking, do I say the same stuff or?
So let me explain that. We went back and we did over an hour and a half.
And we were both dead tired.
It was past midnight at this point. And we were just like, all right, fuck it, let's do it again, because we knew Will was about to go on vacation. We just needed some kind of content. So we did the whole podcast over. And the way it normally works is we'll take we'll take the whole podcast up and I'll chop it into reels and TikTok videos. Well, bro, we only got 2 of them out of that redo because they were trash.
We were dead, man.
We were done. You could just tell we were trying to relive in the moment everything we had just talked about, and it wasn't working. It just was not natural.
Oh, man.
There were times when we did say the same shit that we had said before, and it's like, this feels fake, like we're acting or something.
Yeah.
So it just did not work out, but we were able to get, we highlighted the year 1988. which is kind of cool because the only way you'll ever be able to see any of that is to go to our TikTok page and see the video that did make it through the video games of 1988.
Yeah,
it's
that's
only on TikTok and on Instagram. That's the only place you'll be able to see it. I might just put that individual video on YouTube as well. I don't know. But anyway, enough about that.
We're back.
Shit happens, and we're back on the grind, and we're in the pocket now. This is all being recorded. I can see the red light.
We're good.
So we are good to go. So yeah, we had some people email us this past week. Email is superretropod@gmail.com. Tons of people emailing in. You know what? Somebody emailed me, Will, and I forgot to respond to them because it came to my personal email somehow, but they did it on our website. So if you have emailed us and you haven't received a response, it's coming because I'm going to go back and find it and respond to it because I think about it all the time. So yeah, you can email us ideas. You can email us, just anything you want, telling us you like the podcast. That's one that we just got.
Yep. Share some of your nostalgia with us.
Yeah. Also, another opening note, video is on Spotify. Video is on YouTube. Obviously, you can listen on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Tell your friends about us. All right, let's move on. So let's get right into these shout-outs, y'all. Glitch Gang Gaming on Instagram tagged us in a reel of his game room, or a picture of his game room, and called it his happy place.
I like it.
I completely agree because I've been getting some free time recently, and I've been down here. I've been diving into some games.
Into your happy place?
Yeah, I've been deep diving into some games just down here by myself. So Glitch Gang Gaming, you're always showing love on all the socials. We appreciate you, man. This next one was an email from Mike. Say it for me, Will.
Davignog.
Mike Davignog. And we actually did read this on the last podcast that no one will ever hear. And I read the whole thing, and it was a long message. So, Mike, I'm not going to read the whole thing again because when I got done reading, I was like, damn, it didn't seem that long.
It was like a half a book.
But, no, I appreciate it. It's just I can't read the whole thing because it's so long.
Yeah, but you tried.
I'm going to read a little bit of Mike's message. He says he is new to the podcast on YouTube. He's been following us on TikTok for a while, though. He had some ideas. He was thinking of a podcast that would include
overlooked cartoons,
an era of overlooked cartoons. And he goes on to say, my favorite was Mask, the gas station set in the mountainside. It was almost like a Batman kind of theme with a rich guy by day and also being a superhero as a second job. I was disappointed when Netflix did the Toys That Made Us series and never included this show. Will, yeah, you like Mask, Will?
Yeah, I agree with that because, I mean, Mask is, like, super underrated when it comes to, like, OG cartoons.
When we were putting this whole thing together, you early on were talking about Mask. It was one of the first ideas you had.
Yeah, those toys, man, I was like, that's a special place in my heart. So I know it's, like, nostalgic for a lot of kids.
We need some Mask toys.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't been on eBay trying to find, but I want the good.
I got you.
Like they had some with like the red car with the doors that go up, like the Teslas now, But back then it was like, what?
Yeah.
And I found some on eBay that were like the doors are gone or something, one door, and I'm like, I can't get that, bro.
Yeah, when you try to find the authentic ones that aren't like sealed and $1,000, any old school toy, it's always missing something. Yeah. It's always faded.
Like I can't take a Snake Eyes with one arm on G.I. Joe.
Shit. I was gonna say that too. We don't have any G.I. Joe down here. This is bullshit, man. We gotta get our shit together.
He-Man. I've looked up. I went down a rabbit hole on eBay about just. If you're anything into collecting anything retro or anything nostalgic, like you need your eBay credit card or taken off. Like you need your money device taken off of eBay.
Dude, I wonder how much money we've collectively spent
on
eBay.
God.
Unbelievable. That's where most of this shit comes from that we have down here. And you say that. I remember recently looking at, anyone remember the Mad Balls, but not just the Mad Balls, the ones where
this one right over there.
Yeah, that's a Super Mad Ball. The where it was the figure and you would hit the button on the back and
you told me about it.
And the head would shoot. So I found it was the purple one, the Cyclops with the horn on top of his head. I found that on eBay recently for like $120, but his horn is like rubbed because the material was like soft.
Man, that was bound to go.
That horn rubbed off, so this thing had been used. Like I'm not saying I want a new one.
You almost, man, it's like you want somebody's collection that hasn't touched it since the
it
80s.
came out. Like, I want some shit in good condition.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But Mike, hey, thank you for stirring up some memories, dog.
Yeah, man. I agree with you, bro. I'm on your team. I'm on the mask squad.
He's all about mask. He references it. He says it a few times. And he goes to say, I hope that this is one of the many ideas I can throw at you guys. Man, come on, all day. He said that he enjoys the content. Anytime you want to send us an idea.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm not that great at is giving shout outs to the people that gave us the idea, because I'll put them in the notes and I'll forget to add who put it, and then I can't find it again.
But hey, man, we're listening.
Mm-hmm. But I'm getting better about that. So if we do, don't take it personal if we forget to tag somebody in an idea they gave us. He said classic movies are great. But hey, you know what, Mike? Thank you for taking the time to email us.
That's awesome.
I personally did read the whole thing. I'm pretty sure I already responded to you. But yeah, it's Super Retro Pod, y'all. superretropod@gmail.com if you want to send us an email or follow us on all the socials, and we check those too. All right, y'all, let's talk about some water balloons in the 80s and 90s.
That was I hated them. Yeah, bro. Every time somebody got water balloons, start filling them up, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
You about to get soaked.
Here we go.
Look, though, I have a beef with water balloons today, because now you can get these anywhere. You can get them at Target, Walmart.
I already know what you're going to say.
Costco. These all-in-one joints where you put it on the hose, they fill up, and then they drop off. First of all, that is a genius idea.
You know why, though? This whole bit you're about to do, that guy knew that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He fixed it.
You put it on the hose, you fill it up, and they drop off, and they already got the rubber. They already tied for you. On one hand, it's a genius idea. On another hand, it is taking the nostalgia away, or part of it away, for me, because now they just fill up, drop off, and the kids expect 80 water balloons off top.
Bro, once the first time I saw that,
yeah,
being a dad, and I saw them all fall in a bucket, I was like, you are a spoiled little kid.
100%.
Because I was like, back when I was a kid, if you even got a water balloon to the point where it was tied and you could throw it, it was like gold.
That's exactly the point I was going to make.
It's like you had one, you're like, holy shit, I get to throw it. And then,
it was a fucking accomplishment.
Do you know what the worst part after that was? What? It's when you'd have that and you'd about to throw it and it would just
bust
pop
in your hand.
And you're like,
from the force.
All of that work down the drain.
But let me tell you why these kids are so spoiled with it, because we've gotten a few of those, which, by the way, those things are fucking stupid expensive. Yeah. They're like $20 for one thing. Yeah. Or there may be multiples in there, but it's $20 a pack.
There almost should be, though.
But you're paying, at that point, you're paying for the idea, because 100%. My kids got on the kick going to Dollar Tree the other day. So we just said, fuck it, let's go to Dollar Tree, because my wife always talks about it, how they have way better, how that dollar store compared to all the other dollar stores is superior. Like, all the other dollar stores are trash compared to Dollar Tree, if you ask my wife. And so she's got the kids pumped up. So we stopped in there, and all the kids had like $3 and shit. They had their own money, and they want to go spend their own money. So I'm like, okay, let's go.
We come out with bags of shit for $3.
We go in there, and my youngest grabs a pack of water balloons. That's why I even wrote this in the notes.
That he had to fill up.
Maya, she had.
That she had to do.
It's a pack of 50, and we bring them home, and Maya's all like, "All right, let's fill these up." You know, my daughter's 5. She's like, "Let's fill these up." I'm like, "Oh man." First of all, I couldn't find any sink in the whole house that it would fit over, because now the spouts have changed the spouts have all changed. They're all real wide.
That's hilarious. I didn't even think about that.
The aerator's up in the neck of the faucet.
I can see the faucets I use right now in my brain.
That's right.
Just see those weird.
It was small, and you just put it right over it.
Even how little the balloon was, it would fit.
Right. So it wouldn't. The bathroom sink was splitting it. It was so big. So I had to fill up all these goddamn water balloons with reverse osmosis water that we drink, because it's got a little spout on the side of the sink. Oh my God. So they're all reverse osmosis water. And but anyway, the point is, I originally did like 6 or 7 of them, and it took, I mean, it was a good amount of time to do 7 water balloons. She finally gets her brothers to come out and play. So I end up filling up 5 apiece. I did 15 balloons. It took like 15 minutes for 15 balloons.
Yeah.
They literally threw these balloons in 30 seconds.
Over. Game over.
And it was over, and they're all like, all right, cool, let's do some more. And I'm like, do some more? I just spent 15 minutes on 15 water balloons.
You should have been like, hey, let's see if you can do it.
I did. So I did some for them again, and then they wanted more, and I was like, y'all got to do them. So they started filling them up, and Mason could tie them. I got in there and started to help them tie them, but they filled them all up, and it took so long.
I'm telling you.
I was like, this is how you used to do it. I was like, when you tie this new balloon,
bro,
when you tie this water balloon, it becomes part, you respect it, and you're like, I'm about to go into battle. About to go into battle with this thing, instead of just, whoop, 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 and there's 100 balloons in a bucket.
We had to fucking get those water balloons and go time on the run.
Yeah.
Because like we'd have to fill it up, and there's people coming there, like people are after you.
I remember back in the day when you would go to birthday parties and there was like a water balloon fight, the parents were filling them up for 30 minutes, filling up all these buckets of balloons.
With a cigarette.
Yeah, straight up. But yeah, so I just wanted to gripe.
And that's a cool little idea, like nostalgia from our childhood. Everybody remembers some kind of water balloon activity.
Absolutely. And you remember you spent time with each balloon, so it was a lot more valuable and it meant more when you hit somebody with it.
It just gave me an idea. I know Slip and Slide. When that came out, bro, that was so nostalgic.
Shit was lit.
Like when somebody you knew had a fucking slip and slide, bro. Mm-hmm. The like yellow like brick road.
Yeah, shit was just yellow.
You're like, oh my god, we're gonna fly down that,
bro. And
you did.
Inevitably, you get all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, bro, because you'd go farther than the slide.
Oh yeah, gone.
Yeah.
And but then you get like little rocks and shit under there.
You're gone.
Your whole shit scratched up.
Yeah.
And then they came out with they started getting fancy with the slip and slides.
I know.
Started putting little ramps at the end of them where you jump into a pool.
100%.
You remember those?
Yeah.
That shit was awesome. But yeah, dude, the whole backyard would be straight lit.
Bro.
I mean, dude. That's funny. Go in my backyard right now. We put a slip and slide out there. Gone. It killed the grass.
Gone.
It's gone.
I did it one year in the front yard where I'm at. You can't do that, bro. My grass was messed up.
HOA knocking on the door like, what's
bro,
up?
Your grass is yellow.
Yeah, what's up with this big stripe out in your yard?
It's dead.
But dude, it wasn't even down for 7 hours and they killed the grass in the backyard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one, man. Slip and slides had the backyard turned up back in the day.
All the whole neighborhood kids would be there.
Oh, it was a spot.
The hose stuck right on the slip and slide.
Yep. And then you put the soap on it.
Yeah. Oh my God. When somebody told you about putting like Dawn or something on it.
Gone, bro. Shooting like a rocket. And
somebody's getting hurt.
Somebody's definitely get hurt. Then you would slide down when somebody be standing on it and just take their whole Achilles out.
Bro, I can see their legs. And their legs go in the air.
For sure.
Immediately.
For sure. All right, y'all. Let's talk about 1080 Snowboarding, released March 31st, 1998 on the Nintendo 64. This is a classic snowboarding game. Many have come before it, but this is when they had that shit dialed in.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
In the game, the player controls one of 5 snowboarders from a third-person perspective, using a combination of buttons to jump and perform tricks over 8 levels. It garnered critical acclaim and won an Interactive Achievement Award from the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. 1080 Snowboarding sold over 2 million units. 2 million units, damn. Everybody, when this dropped, though, it did seem like this was the future of those type of games.
Yeah, this made you want to be like, can I go snowboarding?
Yeah, it made you feel like you could snowboard too.
I think I want to do this.
And it felt kind of like you were. It's like
it was really cool, man.
There was a lot of times on the Nintendo 64 when it felt like you were almost in it, because of the 3D.
No, yeah, especially because it was our first time ever playing anything like any of those games.
Yeah.
So all of it, every one of those real cool first 64 games for you, almost like they were really interactive. Like it almost threw you into the game for the first time in your life.
Right. It was cool, and that was one. That was one of those games. If you had the Rumble Pack,
man,
when you kind of bump in, or like, because you would crash the snowboard a lot, or if you'd bump into another one of the snowboarders, you would feel it, and that was my favorite. I was playing it yesterday. Racing is one of the challenges. You can race, you can do tricks for points, but racing or the time trials are fun too. But I had more fun racing against someone than anything. So yeah. So 1080 was produced by the legendary Nintendo game designer Shigeru Miyamoto. The iconic Mario and Zelda and all the shit we love. But according to Miyamoto, this is his quote. It says, 1080 came about because I like skiing. I was thinking about making a skiing game after completing Wave Race 64. However, the current trend seems to be snowboarding, because with snowboarding, it seems that you can go places that you can't on skis. For example, in between trees.
Yeah.
And so a game like this gets born because of this thought that he has.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was right though. I mean, snowboarding took over.
I'd much rather play a snowboarding game than a ski game.
Yeah, I don't even know any.
And at the time, it was
slalom.
Hot. In the 90s, snowboarding was king.
Yeah, it still is.
You ever tried to snowboard?
No, but I'd like to.
I tried to snowboard. Like, I thought this game had me psyched up for real, because I tried to go snowboarding after this shit.
Yeah, you were like, I can go.
I was like, I can do it. Bro, I went out there and was just stuck on this board. Like, the only direction I would go if I could keep my balance was like diagonal. I would never go straight. It just didn't make sense. I was just going backwards. I could not get a flow going. It's way easier to ski. So to see these dudes do these insane tricks on these snowboards.
And to be able to do them with the 64, man, was fun.
Like, dude, them going up in the air and doing spins and flips and all these tricks and shit, that is insane, dude. Snowboarders are true athletes for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, so 1080 snowboarding on the Nintendo 64, classic snowboarding game. Definitely has a solid place in the history of the Nintendo 64. I would definitely say it's one of the top 50 or so games on the system.
Yep.
It's just fun, man.
Who remembers that?
All right, let's talk about fireworks in the 80s and 90s. This is actually a listener topic. Machine 13 recommended this one, but yeah,
man,
fireworks in the 80s and 90s.
I don't think, when we do any kind of like 4th of July now with our kids, we look at them like, you guys don't even really experience 4th of July.
100%.
They are just there, like, doing whatever they're doing. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we went to war.
100%.
Like, and I know it's probably the same for you, but like, we'd have our family shit. Like, we'd be shooting fireworks off in the day.
Oh, all day.
You know what I mean? But then at night, like, we left our parents.
Yeah.
And went places and we shouldn't have.
In the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was just our park. We went to our park, right, where there was a tennis court and a basketball court. And right there we had war.
Yeah. Now, my family, a part of my family does a huge, they didn't this year, but every single year before have done a huge July 4th fireworks thing, and we go to it. So that's just what we do, and it's this big display. And I'm thinking, man,
and it's cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know what?
Oh, kids love it.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like, to me, I look at all these fireworks. Like, even like we have one of the biggest ones in the world here in Louisville.
Yep,
Thunder over Louisville, and I look at it and I'm just like, I'm already bored. Like, within the first few.
No doubt.
I'm like, this isn't even fun.
Which is why we started shooting them at each other.
Yeah, bro.
Bottle rocket wars, okay? Bottle rocket wars in the early 90s are unmatched childhood nostalgia.
Like, we shot them at each other's faces.
And hit each other in the face.
Yeah, bro. Many of people went home crying.
Many. I remember one time we pulled up in this church parking lot, mobbed out. I'm talking 10 people on each side. We had just gotten mad amounts of the cheap-ass bottle rockets with the little red piece of wood on them, with a little popper on the end of it. You light that thing. Phew.
Bro, if you could get like a Coke bottle, old glass Coke bottle, it looks like a gun.
Yep.
Like that, if you had that, you're fucking winning that battle.
Yep.
But we were so like to the point where we would just light them, hold the red thing,
and throw that bitch.
Throw them at
it's
people.
all about timing.
And you time it, you just go.
Yep.
All right.
Look, I would light it. And give it a little head start and just wait. And then
that's what I'm saying. As soon as I threw, it was taking off. It was taking and kill people.
You would just murk people.
I'd be like, oh my God. And
on the run.
We had this little lip where the tennis court changed. You know what I mean? So sometimes you could just do like this.
Oh, scoop.
Yeah, and it would go and hit that lip and go right up in their face. How
God
crazy
damn.
is that? Like that's how we rolled.
And then the finale or the rabbit in the hat, if you will, is when you pull that Roman candle out in slow motion. You know what I'm talking about?
That's illegal. Those were illegal.
That shut the whole.
Yeah, that's the grand finale.
The Red Sea parted when you started shooting that. Yeah,
that's when you
Roman
had an
candle.
automatic weapon at the bottle rocket fight.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on, bro. You can't do that. You
can't be busting out the Roman candle. Somebody might die.
Yeah.
Because then you have some are different. But yeah, dude, also to your point a minute ago. Yeah, I used to go I would leave as like an 8-year-old, bro. Like for real, a 9-year-old in the neighborhood and just leave and go to where the fireworks spot was at. Yeah. Like who's lighting the fireworks tonight? Yeah. Oh, there's this last year I remember this one guy
who's doing something illegal.
He had chairs sitting out. Like I went to somebody's house I didn't know.
Whose weird cousin's gonna buy us fireworks?
In 88 and just sat in these people's yard and watched this firework display, and then when it was over, grabbed me a hot dog and bounced.
Yeah.
It didn't know anybody.
And what's crazy is like I don't know if you like they were all illegal. We'd have to go to Indiana, buy fireworks, and come home.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Like my dad would go.
Fireworks were illegal in Kentucky.
We would go across the bridge, get fireworks, come back to Louisville, light them off. Nobody ever said anything.
What were they going to do? The whole city was turned up.
Like, what do you... And, they're all illegal. No one cared.
And but if you knew a motherfucker, if you knew a dude at the firework tent...
Oh, yeah.
That was a little shady.
Those are some dudes.
There were several times that... Hey, under the table or where the bottle rockets are at, or where.
Yeah, because they still have stands of like jumping jacks and stupid fireworks.
Yeah,
you just couldn't get the good ones.
Yeah, the fountains. Yeah, you could just get the little fountains.
Yeah,
which is what I get my kids.
They were like, "Hey, we got some black cats back here."
Yeah, nothing was worse in the 80s and 90s than a fireworks stand in Kentucky. It had nothing.
Hey, we got some M80s back here.
Yeah, oh, bro, M80s.
Somebody had those back then.
Bro, we had full-blown dynamite sticks back in the day.
Blow fingers off.
M80s will ruin your life if you handle them wrong.
Oh, yeah, bro. That's the ones you didn't throw at each other.
That's the one you see people with mangled hands that they lit it and held it too long. And I think about that, like, how the fuck did we survive that?
Oh, man, I think it's great.
8 years old, 9 years old, lighting M80s.
Like the fact that I can do this.
Lighting the M80 and holding it to the last second and then throwing it. Like, what?
We trusted that wick. We'd light it and just sit there and watch until it got to the point where we're like, oh.
Full-blown dynamite in the hands of children.
We had wars. Who remembers that time? Who had wars and bottle rockets and just any kind of firework?
Yeah, fireworks in the 80s and 90s were different, y'all. The kids today don't know nothing about that.
That's some wild times. I don't give a fuck. I'll tell them. No, I thought it was just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fucking getting that. Who the fuck wants that? Go out and run. What do you do? What the fuck?
All right.
I don't even want to play it. Like, I don't want to play it now.
All right.
I mean, I don't give a shit about that.
Oh.
I'll tell all of them that.
Oh, man.
Like, if you played it, you're fucked up.
Will is not a fan of the Power Pad.
Yeah, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Who played it?
I played it, and I thought it was amazing.
I didn't even want to rent it.
At the time, it came with a game, I got the whole Nintendo set. That's what mine came with, was the Power Pad and the game, Track and Field.
Yeah. You know what, though? Now I think about it, I probably played it and didn't care to remember it. Like, we was not fucking with this in my neighborhood. Like, nah, man. We were purist with our NES.
All right, let's talk about the movie Swingers that dropped in 1996. Swingers is an American buddy comedy film about the lives of single unemployed actors living on the east side of Hollywood, California during the 1990s swing revival. Hilariously written by Jon Favreau and directed by Doug Liman, the film starred Favreau alongside Vince Vaughn, featuring performances by Ron Livingston, which is our boy from Office Space, and Heather Graham. Favreau went on to be a super successful director, man.
Yeah, he kills everything now.
Dude, Jon Favreau went on to do some dope movies, directing. Yeah. He didn't direct this film, but he wrote this movie.
Yeah, he definitely had a run in show business.
My guy directed Elf. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I do.
You knew he directed Elf? I had no idea when I was looking into it. I was like, damn, Favreau did Elf?
He's still making money off Elf.
Elf is so good. And he did The Mandalorian, which I've heard you talk.
It's the fucking creme de la creme of Star Wars now.
They should let him do the movie.
Like, you know, he is doing movies now.
Is he going to do the movie?
The new Mandalorian is turning into a movie.
Oh, he's going to do it.
But like, there's a lot of stuff that he's now, anything he wants to do, he can do.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But speaking of Favreau, he plays the character Mikey that's going through a super rough breakup.
Bro.
And that's what the movie is pretty much based around, is him just going through it. You know what I mean? And
so funny, man.
And his boy trying to get him out.
Yep.
Vince Vaughn's character trying to get him out, you know, trying to just get him reacclimated to being single.
Yep.
But this movie only had a $200,000 budget. It brought in $4.6 million. And that $200,000 sounds like a lot, but I read earlier that they spent more money on licensing the music that was in the movie than actually making the movie.
Yeah, because, I mean, I think they basically just filmed them living.
It was so well written, which, by the way, Jon Favreau wrote this in 2 weeks just because he wanted to see if he could.
Yeah.
This is the first thing he ever wrote,
That's
first
sick.
Screenplay he wrote. He got a computer from his grandma or his mom or something, and he was like, okay, well, I'm going to see if I can write a movie, and wrote this fucking movie.
So good.
The dialogue in it is fantastic. It's almost reminiscent of like a Quentin Tarantino movie, as far as the dialogue that's in it.
It's money.
It's so money.
It's so money.
It's so money, baby. It was a critical and commercial hit. This film was rated 58 on Bravo's 100 Funniest Movies. Empire Magazine listed the film as number 49 on its 50 Greatest American Independent Films list. When you look at it and know they made it for $200,000, and here in a minute I get into talking about how cheap it actually is and what they actually did to make it. It's wild. You can tell that they were just really just hungry. Mm-hmm. They were hungry to make this movie, and
they're like, I'll do whatever it takes.
Which is why Jon Favreau cast himself in the movie.
Yeah,
cheap. He's like,
I'll do it.
I'll do it for free.
Yeah,
you know, I'll do exactly the movie.
What
I wrote the movie. I'm gonna do it and play the part the way I want the part played.
Yeah. He knew what it was looking for.
But Vince Vaughn in this film,
he kills it, man.
Bro, this turned this man into a star.
Dude.
And, you know, it was almost like every role he had after that, we were always hoping that he would pull that same magic out, which he did. He had some iconic stuff. But for me, just seeing that movie so early on, before I saw anything else with Vince Vaughn in it, that was the top shelf for me.
I mean, and also with we talked about with Bill Murray, like he almost is this guy.
True.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wonder if he was like that before he played that character. Yeah, it's
because he was like, I'm writing this for you. Because
it seems like he was always trying to play that character.
Yeah.
There's so many scenes that I could talk about, that we could talk about for so long, when he's like, when he finally got that girl's number. And
everything you're about to say, that part is so funny.
Where they're telling him how many days that he should wait to call.
Bro.
To call her, and he
couldn't have fucked up more.
My guy let his intrusive thoughts win.
Bro, he called her 1,000,000 times.
And got in an argument with her or like, this isn't working out.
Bro, he called 1,000 times.
And never spoke to her.
She never called back. He left voice messages where it would go off where it was too much space. So he would call back and finish his thought, bro. And then eventually was like, he broke up with this lady after never talking to her. Like, he had a whole relationship on a voicemail system.
Which is...
that has happened, bro. That's what's so funny about it.
That part is borderline genius.
Yeah, because that's not that's real life. Like, that was happening to people at that time. You know what I mean?
feel like Jon Favreau had to have done that to somebody.
Or someone he knew. Like, that was written from a place of experience.
Yes. That's one of those moments where it had to be real.
Yep.
Somewhere, you had to get that from somewhere.
Because there was that guy out there that just wasn't good with women and had that one time where he got a number and went through a terrible spiral where he made one bad decision after another. Yeah. And was like, damn, I shouldn't have said that.
It just got out of control.
I'm sorry on that last message. I'm sorry that I said that. And then goes through something else. Like, how funny is that?
It's a snowball rolling down a hill.
Like, you watch that even today and you're just like,
I know, it's like secondhand embarrassment. But they're telling him that he should wait a couple days, and then he's like, "Well, how many days do you wait to call your babies?" And they're like, 6 days. 6 days.
Yeah,
like, and they hadn't mentioned 6 days at all to him. They were telling him to wait 2 to 3 days. But yeah, classic quotable line.
So good.
You're so money and you don't even know it. I say it all the time. Or just the word "your money."
Like, what a wingman.
The best.
He was pumping him up.
He was the best.
Like, he was lying to him.
The whole time. The whole time. Where he's like, who's the big winner at the casino tonight?
Look
Mikey,
at him.
It's me. Mikey's the big winner. Dude, my favorite scene in the movie is when they are all chilling in the apartment and they're playing NHL 94 on the Sega Genesis, and they're arguing back and forth about it. And he runs up. He keeps telling him, "I'm going to make Gretzky's head bleed for Superfan 99 over here." My favorite scene. And you know what? He ends up doing it too. Yeah. He checks him. Look, you know that little move where he's shaking and his head's bleeding?
Yeah.
Hilarious, dude. I love that. Their little back and forth banter they have going on.
The way they play that game in that movie, you can tell that those dudes really play that.
They 100%.
Like, that's real.
And what's crazy is they captured that. That's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Because now you go back and play it, it would take you a while to get back into that. But at that time,
they were into that.
That's how we were playing these games.
Yeah, they were hurting feelings.
Definitely, and because now you've had the experience of playing John Madden, where the players look real and this and that. At the time,
that game was fun, man.
That was as good as it got. Was playing NHL 94 on the Genesis. But yeah, their back and forth was comedy. All right, so let's talk about the budget. With this small budget that they had, Favreau agreed to cast himself in the movie to obviously save money because he's not going to pay himself. They planned on shooting over about 18 days with 12 pages per day. They auditioned and cast Vaughn after considering some other bigger names. Many of the supporting and minor roles were filled from casual auditions and from cast and crew acquaintances. More money was spent on music licensing for the film itself. Much of the film was shot using what they call short ends, which meant many of the scenes could not go longer than 60 seconds. And let me explain what a short end is. A short end is a partial roll of unexposed film stock left over during a motion picture production and kept for later use. The short end may be sold to a film director who will resell it to productions who are in a position to use it. So yeah, they ended up using these little cuts of film to save money. Mm-hmm. Because if you buy a whole can of film, it's a lot. But if you have these little pieces where nobody can really do much with them, well, all right, y'all, we got 60 seconds. Let's go. Let's try to get this shot.
Out of it.
And they were just able to piece a whole movie together out of it. You know, maybe some of them were 2 minutes or a minute and a half. Yep. In the movie, Mikey's apartment is located in the Franklin Village area of Los Angeles, a few miles from the Dresden Room, which is also featured in the film. It was Favreau's real-life apartment at the time. Favreau also used his 1964 Mercury Comet convertible, which he had bought after his previous car had been stolen and stripped. Some of the shots were filmed documentary style with actual bar patrons as extras in the shots. They weren't extras. They were just there. Yeah. And when you watch this movie, it feels like that.
Yeah, you can feel like a lot of people don't know what the fuck those dudes are talking about.
I promise, even some people look at the camera like, hey, what the fuck's that?
I know.
Like they're just walking through bars shooting the film.
Yeah.
And they were such good actors that you bought every second of it.
And like you didn't really know them that much. So like you didn't have any preconceived notion of these dudes.
That's an excellent point.
You like were watching like maybe this is real.
Maybe, yeah. It felt kind of real.
Yeah, like times. These dudes are just out on the town.
They were just destined. That movie was just destined to be huge. And yeah, they couldn't rent out any place, so they just kind of just winged it.
It sort of feels like a little documentary half the time.
It does, yeah, true. Do y'all remember the Budweiser ad campaign? What's that?
Everybody does.
Dude, this thing was, you cannot hide from this in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
It ran from 1999 to 2002 and became an instant pop culture phenomenon. The campaign featured Budweiser drinkers using the greeting, "What's up?" to connect with each other over the phone. The first ad aired on Monday Night Football on December 20th, 1999, and another aired during Super Bowl 34 in the year 2000. The campaign was inspired by the short film True, written and directed by Charles Stone III, who was brought on by Anheuser-Busch to direct the TV ads. I'd say, oh boy, hit it out the park.
Yeah.
I'd say you'd be hard-pressed to find a more effective ad campaign than this.
Like certain things in life, when you have one of those companies do stuff like this, like they hit home runs.
It's a smash.
Yeah.
I watched it again today, which we'll watch it here together in a second. Still so good, but what's funny is they're all on house phones. Mm-hmm. This was just before, in 1999, this was just before everyone had a cell phone in their hands. Because, they were still not free. The minutes weren't free.
That was such a weird world where you had to be home to talk on the phone.
I know. Telephones, man, they're strange. I showed my 11-year-old son a picture of a phone, and he really didn't even know what it was. He knew what it was. He just didn't know how it worked. We started explaining to him. Yeah. He was like, "That's stupid."
It's funny, the signal for phone.
Yeah.
Like the picture, the little icon.
They have no idea even where it came from.
No.
It's just like, oh, that's what it is. They just learn it from a child, from birth.
Yeah.
And that's what that means. Yeah. I don't know why, but that's what it means.
I don't know why.
There's a lot of shit like that, though, for us.
There are a lot.
We'll see symbols, and we don't know why it's a symbol, but it's because
we use the old version.
Yeah, it was born from something, which is cool. But yeah, so I love that shit. What's that?
Yeah, bro. Everyone, unfortunately, has said that at one time in their life.
Dude, everybody in school was saying it. Everybody, we were, young adults at that point, but
yeah, don't think we didn't say that to somebody when they called.
You walk into a crowded room and say it,
everyone says it back.
What's ups were going for like 30 seconds
100%,
before it died down.
Yeah. Like come to a party.
Oh yeah.
500 people saying it.
Straight up. Lastly, reports by the New York Times indicate that it helped Anheuser-Busch boost sales by some 2.4 million barrels.
That's wild.
Now, I tried to find a metric on that earlier before we did this, and I couldn't find the direct metric connected to how much money they make per barrel. But that sounds like a lot, y'all.
Yeah, bro.
2.4 million of anything
for what they
sounds like a lot.
For what they paid the guy to have the idea.
Yeah, no telling how much they actually spent to film it and then to air it.
Not
and what
much.
It translated to.
No.
Minuscule.
Anheuser won.
Yeah, big time win.
Yeah, that was crazy because, that was a huge pop culture hit.
Yeah, it was a pop culture phenomenon. And can you imagine the guy walking into the board meeting,
like
the marketing meeting?
Like, guys have no idea.
Like, I got it, y'all.
Yeah.
I got it. What if we have a guy just say, "What's up?" And then the other guy says, "What's up?" And then they get all the other guys in the house and say, "What's up?" And then the guy hits a speaker and says, "What's up?"
And there's some probably guy that works at Anheuser going, "Oh, what does this have to do with beer?"
Yeah, straight up.
And the guy's like,
"It's not about beer."
Nothing.
I got to read this YouTube comment, though. When I was watching it earlier, this shit is depressing. It's like the #1 comment. It says, "This ad made me really excited to have friends when I was older. Sadly, that never happened. I drink a lot of beer, though." It's like, damn. And when I did see
That's hilarious.
When I saw the commercial again, it was like, damn, it took you to a time when
you had a friend to call,
when you were hanging out with friends like that and calling them, because as you get older, you have a family.
Yeah. You can't be talking.
This was a time they captured like being boys.
Yeah. And I think back then, man, the whole time was talk to people more back then.
Yeah. You communicated much differently.
You communicate differently. Mm-hmm. We communicate more now.
Yeah.
But less like on the phone. Actually, like I don't fucking talk to anybody.
Yeah. Don't call me.
Yeah. Who are you? I might talk to my wife and you.
Yeah. There's a couple people
for a small period of time.
Yeah.
There's back then you would talk hours to friends for no reason.
What y'all doing?
Yeah. About nothing.
All right, y'all. Who remembers the NES Advantage?
Man. That was like the future.
This shit was legendary when it first dropped. It's nice and solid, too. Thing's heavy. And it's designed, which it's like back then, all of the systems were trying to recreate the arcade experience at home. That's why this exists.
That was the nostalgia then.
Yeah, because, it feels like you're playing an arcade cabinet for sure.
Yeah, like I got a joystick.
Definitely changed the way playing it feels for the better. When you play something with this and you really get into it, it's way better to control with a joystick as compared to the pad.
Yeah.
The NES Advantage is an arcade-style controller developed and released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1987. The device is meant to rest on a flat surface at a comfortable level, such as a tabletop or on the floor even, with the player seated behind it. This way, it can be used like the arcade game joystick, with the left hand using the joystick and the right hand's operating the buttons. Mm-hmm. But there's a couple things about this one, y'all. This is what it really was, the turbo button.
That turbo button, boy, that was cheating.
The cheat code.
That was cheating.
The turbo button on this, wherever you'd have to hit them buttons a lot, when you just turn that turbo on, you could adjust the turbo, how fast you wanted it to hit. And you just hold it. Whatever you're playing, if it took one of them, like on Punch Out or something, if you had to get up, you know what I'm talking about, how you got to hit that button to get up.
It wasn't fair.
This was cheating. It also had a slow motion button, which was pretty cool if you wanted to take your time and figure out what you were doing. A lot of people use that, but by far the turbo effect on the NES Advantage is why this was such a hit, and it's often considered one of the best NES accessories ever released, obviously behind like the Zapper gun and a few others, but definitely a solid controller. And I'll tell you what, anytime I see one of these, I'm like,
do I need that?
Do we need another one?
Yeah.
Do we need another one?
But honestly, man, like if you think about those, how cool it was when it came out, the handheld controller just...
Oh, yeah. It would never replace that for me.
You can't compete with it.
It was just a fun switch up.
It was.
Or, there were certain games it worked better with that if you had it, then you would obviously use it for that.
But for most people, everyone had this, it just sort of found its way off to the side and never came back.
It phased out.
You never felt the need to go play that again.
Right, because they were developing games differently towards later in Nintendo's lifespan.
Like even with that turbo, you're like, I don't want. Yeah, I'd rather just hit it.
Right. It definitely was hot at the beginning for a year or two.
It's a cool idea.
This was early Nintendo for me.
It was cool idea, but
yeah, Nintendo NES Advantage. All right, y'all. I want to talk about Bone Thugs and Harmony's album, E.1999 Eternal. It's their second studio album, released July 25th, 1995 on Ruthless Records. The album was released 4 months after the death of rapper Eazy-E, the group's mentor and the executive producer of the album. Both the album and single, The Crossroads, are dedicated to him. Following up on the surprise success of their breakthrough single Thuggus Ruggus Bone, it became a popular album and received positive reviews from music critics, earning praise for the group's melodic rapping style. The album sold 307,000 copies in the first week.
Damn.
E.1999 Eternal became the group's best-selling album with 4 million copies sold in the U.S. It topped the U.S. Billboard 200 for 2 consecutive weeks. The album was nominated for the inaugural Grammy Award for Best Rap Album, ultimately losing to Naughty by Nature's Poverty's Paradise in the 1996 Grammy Awards. This album is absolutely iconic.
I mean, it's classic today.
It's still a classic. This is one of those albums you can go back right now, put it in right now, listen to from the beginning to the end, and it still hits the same exact way,
bro,
that it hit back then.
The Crossroads video, man, was huge.
I got some shit to talk about because it's not just, you knew it wasn't just going to be simple, cut, and dry. So the album had 3 singles. First of the Month, East 1999, and The Crossroads.
Bangers.
And what's funny is, First of the Month, it's such a classic song. You can see the video, them riding on top of the car, Crazy Bones, hair blowing in the wind, on the hood of the car, whatever they were doing. Classic song. I wrote down every single lyric, or every one that I could understand, that is, to Lazy Bones part, and I would rap it along with him. One of those times I had to do it. It made me feel cool doing it. But First of the Month, it's become a tradition in my home that for the first few days and like even weeks of the school year, when the new school year starts, this is how I wake my kids up.
Wake up.
I play First of the Month every morning as their alarm. I walk in the room and wake them up with it blaring on my phone, and they're just like putting their pillows over their heads. Like, oh. My kids will always know this song. Yeah. But yeah, dude, Bone Thugs and Harmony, man.
Their harmonies were ungodly.
Dude, so original. This is another one of those groups. Their style, their rap style is so original. Yeah. It's right up there with E40.
No, they all those kind of guys invented their own sound.
Name another artist that sounds anything like Bone.
Or has.
Since.
Yeah, it's
nobody.
You would just be copying them.
At that point, it would be 100% rip off, and you would get laughed out of the building. Yep. Like, don't try to do that. They made this up. Mm-hmm. They own that sound.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
That's how you know it's original. That if you were to kind of mimic it, you would sound like you were.
Yeah, you almost can't mimic it.
Yeah, you can't because who are you, Bone?
Yeah,
you know,
it's already been done.
They created an amazing sound. When I think about East 1999 Eternal, the beats.
Oh man,
they never let you down. They still hit and bang just as hard today as they did back then. I mean, maybe they may have even aged better.
Yeah.
A lot of music from then either got better or got considerably worse.
Yeah.
And this is not one of them, y'all. This shit is still a masterpiece. But I knew there was a reason that I like these beats because they're from Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland didn't have a sound at the time, or at least I was unaware of. You know, New York had a sound. The South had a sound developing. The West Coast had a sound. What kind of sound was coming out of Cleveland? Well, these beats, y'all, I knew it. I knew there was something. It was produced entirely by DJ Unique, a Los Angeles bass producer who frames the songs with dark, smoked out G-funk beats and synth melodies. That's the something that I've always been searching for because I didn't know this. I didn't go as far as to look at who produced this. But what I could tell you is that the same person produced every song. He had some help from time to time, but he oversaw and produced every song. And you can tell. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a cohesive project.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like
they worked with this guy, worked with that guy. No.
And that's what people are doing nowadays. They've been doing that shit for a long time. Beat from you, beat from you, beat from this super producer, beat from you. This dude was in the lab the whole time producing this. And, dude, I salute that. That is amazing.
Those were his babies.
The Source magazine held it as one of the top 100 rap albums of the 1990s, and I think that goes without saying. Mm-hmm. This is one of the top 10 rap albums of the 1990s. Since we're talking about The Source, they gave this album 3.5 mics out of 5. Come on, man. This is definitely a 5 out of 5. I don't know what y'all are listening to, or if it wasn't New York enough for y'all, or whatever it was.
Yeah, they were like, why are they singing?
You just didn't understand it.
They just didn't understand.
Y'all did not understand it at the time.
Yeah, it was a masterpiece.
I'm going to need y'all, what do you call it when you go back and change it?
Reevaluate.
I'm going to need you to reevaluate. I'm going to need y'all to...
open this back up.
Yeah, you need to reassess the situation because that's some bullshit. This is a 5 mics out of 5. If it's a 10, it's 10. God damn it, give it its due. All right, here we go, Will. Did you know that the iconic album from Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999, had a Sega Genesis connection?
I don't think I did.
Neither did I until I started researching. The songs Eternal and the original version of Crossroads, which we'll get into in a minute, contain samples from the Sega game Eternal Champions.
Did not know that.
I want to play them, all right? Watch this. All right, listen to this song. Listen to this song. Remember that one? Remember this song?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Let's just let it kick in for a second. No, you won't know the game.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
You ain't gonna figure it out. I just want the beat to kick in. Watch.
Straight mo thug nigga return from the cliff.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
All right, now watch this. On this game, Eternal Champions, the music that they sampled to make that song, Eternal, on East 1999, when you're reading a character's bio, this is the music that's playing.
How you find that?
It's literally called character bios.
Wow.
And it even goes high.
That's so wild, bro.
Isn't that fucking cool?
Somebody was sitting there the whole time playing that game and was like, this is dope.
Watch.
Remember?
Where you from, nigga?
Look at my guy. Hold on.
So, DJ Unique, my guy had to be playing this.
Yeah.
Or whoever produced this. If it was you or somebody you were doing it with.
Wow, dude.
Y'all were vibing out to some Eternal Champions on Sega Genesis. Not only that, the original version of Crossroads, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know, but the original version of Crossroads is not the one that you know and love. At first, East 1999 Eternal was released. It did have a song called Crossroads on it, but it's not the one that blew up, has the video, went on to win a Grammy, none of that. It's a song, it's called Crossroads, and real ones will know. Real Bone fans will know. And I knew because when it's a remix. The one that blew up is a remix. Yeah. When the remix blew up, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't on my shit.
Yeah, that's the one they made for the video.
Yeah, and then they re-released it on East 1999 later in the year. Yeah. They re-released it with that version on it instead.
Sure. They made tons of money.
So I knew, and it was hard for me to find stuff online. I was thinking maybe I had a false memory, but I eventually found it that I was right, that it was not released at first.
Yeah.
See, that's the remix. This is the remix.
I can tell immediately.
That's the remix. But this is the one we all know. The original.
How in the hell is that so good?
It's just good, bro. They're just fucking good. But listen to this. This is what I'm trying to get to.
Like, imagine making that song. They was probably immediately all like, oh my God.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so listen to this.
And while I even know you.
Yep.
You've heard that.
100%. I had the album.
That's the real Crossroad.
Yep.
Okay? So, but listen to this. Back to our Sega. We're kind of bouncing all around, but back to our Sega sample. That wasn't the only one that they sampled.
That's wild.
They sampled that too. Watch this. This one, you got to listen a little harder for this one, but it's there.
Yep. I hear it. That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? That's that. Even though you're gone.
Yeah. I bet a lot of people didn't know that.
Oh, dude, I had no clue. And then watch this. I'm going to play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
He had that in his head.
And these sounds inspired me so much back in the day to where I got into doing music myself and producing myself because of like albums like these.
Yeah, and like hearing little bits and tidbits on the games and anywhere, you were like, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna use that one day.
Fantastic. It was so fun reading about how this album came together and how it was produced,
like,
man.
that's some creative shit, man.
I love this shit. Every song on the album, y'all,
is awesome.
Every song on the album, I could go through each song and break down each song, talk about what I love on it, but we don't have that much time. It's just an amazing album.
Yeah.
You know, from I am gonna go through some. Okay, sorry. So Bud Smokers Only, Mr. Bill Collector, all right, Down 71 The Getaway, where Busy Bone goes off, Creppin' We Came, obviously Eternal, we just talked about.
E.1999.
E.1999, my cracker. Land of the Heartless, my favorite on the album. Land of the Heartless is my favorite on the album. That beat just starts, whatever tempo that is, bottle that shit up because it's perfect for Bone. No shorts, no losses. Taking no shorts, no losses. First of the month, iconic. Buddha Lovers. Oh, let me show you something, Will, while we're talking about it. Buddha Lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Check this shit out. If you didn't know, I'm going to blow your mind with this too. But a lot of people knew. But I was surprised. Not many people knew about this shit than I thought they did. The Isley Brothers.
Man, they got used a lot.
Oh, yeah. But this one might have been the best one yet. I know there's a lot of iconic, Notorious Big and all that. But this one right here, they fucking snapped on this.
UGK used them a bunch.
Listen to this shit right here. You ain't ready for this, Will. You are not ready. Just wait. Whew. First of all, somebody's going off on that guitar.
Yeah, I would like to hear that in the studio.
God damn. Oh, just wait. Let me take y'all back to 1995. You just pop that East 1999 by Bone in, and then you hear him come through with the... Just wait. Just wait. Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm. That's so, I mean, the Isley Brothers got copied a lot.
All right, so there's that. And then that is so good. But Bone said, you know what? And for me, as a 14-year-old at the time, I didn't know about the Isley Brothers. It was like 94 or whatever.
Yeah, you thought this was the original.
I thought this was the original. And I didn't find out for a long time that this was not the original. I thought they hit me with these melodies out of their soul. What? But watch when Busy Bone comes through. He's all over that first singing melody. Watch. Right here, I think.
Yep.
Woo!
That's funny. That's the same way with UGK, bro. I didn't know when I heard it that it was them copying them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were basically paying homage to the Isley Brothers.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah, they're not trying to get away with
no,
it.
no.
They know. Everyone that knows.
100%.
Yeah.
There's that song, but they're a little older than us.
Yeah.
That was their shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were paying homage.
Yeah, they were
they wasn't trying to steal that shit.
No, it was a straight, blatant,
they were paying
going
them.
to use the same melody and make a song about smoking weed
and
as
we're going to
opposed
get y'all paid.
to, a lover or
you know
whatever.
what I mean? We're calling y'all.
So
can we use this?
I love that shit.
Yeah,
but,
that's so cool.
And then let's see, there's more songs. The Ouija, Mo Murdoch, oh my God. And then Shots to the Double Glock. I used to love that song. There's about 37 people featured on it, but I loved it. But yeah, y'all, Bone Thugs and Harmony,
Man.
East 1999 Eternal is one of the top 10 hip-hop/rap albums of the 1990s. I'll die on that sword.
All time.
Of all time.
Yeah, get off us.
All right, that's the show, y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with us through it.
Hope we gave y'all some nostalgia to live off of for a little bit.
We talked about Bone Thugs and Harmony. We talked about a bunch of cool shit, man. We talked about water balloons.
Yeah,
even.
like how you gonna go from Bill Murray to Bone Thugs and Harmony to
1080s,
water balloon to snowboarding.
Yeah, it was the NES Advantage.
Yeah, that's some jumping around nostalgia right there.
That's the way I think people like the shows.
Yeah,
when you can just take them on a ride for a minute and
it's
see
not
where
the same thing. You're not gonna hear just about Nintendo or video games or music or movies or toys.
Yeah,
it's the whole life that we all lived.
Yep. And that's all we're trying to do. Give y'all a little, take y'all back for just an hour or two.
Come back with us.
But superretropod@gmail.com if you want to reach out to us, or on TikTok or on Instagram. We're available there. We'll definitely check those messages all the time.
We just love that you're with us, man.
Yeah.
Listening to us every time we get one of these out.
Yeah.
Like you guys are there.
And it's the driving force behind us.
All the shit we do.
Behind everything, because, sometimes it sucks to edit this shit. Sometimes it sucks to feel like you're on a deadline to get it out, and you've already waited a week and a half, and the podcast isn't out yet. It's going to go to 2 weeks. If people weren't asking for it, it would never come out.
Yeah, I know. And that's one of the reasons why we keep, we're a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First and foremost, that's what we are. We're not just making reels or TikTokers or Instagrammers.
When all that shit goes away, if it all went away tomorrow, we'd still be making podcasts, because that's what we ultimately like doing.
That's why it's in the email.
Thank y'all for sticking with us. Hey, check out our website, superretropod.com. I keep saying we have merch coming up soon. Let's get together.
Yeah, we'll get on it.
Let's put our heads together on that, man. Because we need some more.
Yeah, for sure.
People ask for it. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yep. Like and subscribe.
Hey, go to our wherever you take in the podcast, rate, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, all that good stuff, y'all. Until then, next time, peace.
Later.